In this video, we're going to talk about a problem people might face if they're having trouble growing zucchini like we do. This is not zucchini, this is the solution. This is loofah gourd, and it is a great substitution for zucchini. So follow along as Mrs. Bowtie shows us how to prepare and cook these up, and we're going to discuss the pros and cons.
Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave.
So we are looking at these loofah that we've harvested, and after they've sat in the fridge a little longer, they turn
a little dark.
Yeah, a little darker, but they're still good. We've discovered it doesn't really do anything to them. Now, I do get to a point where they're not good. In fact, I threw away about 20 pounds of old loofah the other day because we just stopped cooking them. So anyway, these smaller ones, you can see about the size of my thumb. These are really good, really tender, getting a little bit larger. This is a little bit larger than my thumb. Start getting up like this big, and you got to kind of decide if the skin is too tough, which Mrs. Bowtie will do on these. Now, if you go on to letting them grow this big,
we're not cooking that.
We're not cooking that. That skin is going to be tough. In fact, would you just slice that open?
Okay.
Just like that, so we can see. Yeah, it's even hard to cook. It's like those okra you were cooking, and the seeds are starting to form. Looky there. So we will not be collecting seeds until we get to the
This is
sponge.
way too fibrous.
But yeah, this is fibrous, and it is not going to be the thing you want to eat or cook up.
Yeah, look at that.
Or waste time on. Now the thing about these loofah is, if you let them grow to full maturity, they will stop producing, and so you want to harvest them. As long as you want stuff to eat, harvest them smaller like this. And so Ms. Bowtie will show you here. Yeah, she's going to start with the small ones that are just very tender. Very.
See, it looks just like a zucchini.
Yeah. The skin is tender. It gives a good texture when you're eating it. And so we're going to just slice these up and get them ready for the skillet. Are we going to do some beans with this?
We can.
Want to use some of those Thai yard-long beans?
We can try them. I probably won't do them together, but
Oh, okay, never mind then. Let's just focus on this then. That's fine.
because I don't know. I haven't done a good batch of the Thai yard yet,
Okay.
so I don't want to ruin the loofah.
Let me go get you a bowl.
All right.
So you can see this one. This is, twice the size of my thumb, but it's still pretty tender. And you could decide pretty quickly. That big one, you saw how tough that was. There's no seeds developing in here. It's not fibrous. It feels kind of spongy, in fact.
Yeah, I got a little fibrous towards the end, so we're going to stop there.
Toward the stem, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, see that? Yeah, okay, so that's fibrous.
Yeah, that one's not going to
Yeah.
work.
So that one is too big. And they will vary. Sometimes they'll be that big and still cuttable, but if they start getting hard to cut like that.
Yeah, you can tell, just like with the okra, you can tell by how it should go through like butter.
Yeah. And if you didn't see the okra video, I'll put a link in the top right-hand corner here in the cards and in the description, so you can go back and look at that. So we're just going to take a few minutes to cook up a batch of these. Mrs. Bowtie likes these with her lunches. We had a huge function at the church today and ate a lot more than we probably... Here, put them in here.
We should have.
Probably should have. So we are not hungry tonight, so we're going to just use these to prepare.
Basically, we're meal prepping for the week.
There you go.
Yeah, it's still all right.
Yeah, as soon as you got past that first bit.
Yeah, these are broken.
But even that small, you can see it's cutting through real easy.
It doesn't matter the size.
Yeah. Just not too big. So we'll continue this in the skillet?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to start at the blossom end. It's kind of hard. Pretty large round.
There. We're okay there.
Let's see, you get past the end a little bit. or down to the end a little bit, and it has a tendency to get harder. Is that good, or is it?
Yeah, it's okay. It's probably a little more than I would like, but it's not bad. It's not crunching.
By the time it gets skilleted,
it should be fine.
It'll
You'll see I'm cutting
softer.
these a little thinner because of it.
Gotcha. And it's going to start getting harder down here.
That's about
So
the
that's
end.
the stem end
Yeah.
there.
That's pretty much all I can do on that one.
Okay. This one we actually had to skip a significant proportion of the end, but it got better. Now another thing we do with these is we grate these up for zucchini bread, or well, as we have to call it here, loofah bread. And we use the same recipe as you would with zucchini bread, except with loofah, and it is exactly the same. And it works great. We've got a whole bunch of bags of loofah. Our recipe calls for 1.25 cups of grated zucchini, and so we put that much in a little quart-sized Ziploc bag. So all we have to do is pop it out, let it thaw a few minutes, and be done. You know, make our bread. You should do it. I'll do another video on that because I can do that myself. That's one of the few things I can do. Now this is a bigger one.
Yeah, but this one is cutting easier than some of the smaller ones.
Okay. So you just kind of have to play it by ear. But again, if they are hard, now I wouldn't grate this big one up for a zucchini loofah bread, but something that is just barely not quite good enough for the skillet, you could grate it up easily. But then again, you can only have so much, and this vine is prolific. In fact, let me just take a moment while we transition to the skillet and show you our vines. They are amazing.
So this is a look at the loofah vines. They're actually starting right up in here in that dip. That's why the shade cloth is low. It also comes all the way down here, and it's covering about 40 feet of the backyard, which is really quite impressive. This is the 2 cattle panel arch trellis that's absolutely covered in them. Now my neighbor has some birdhouse gourds that are growing up in here, as well as some creeping melons that are up in here. You can kind of see in the middle right down in there. But yeah, from end to end, this comes out to about 40 feet of loofah vines. And you can see here the birdhouse gourd is growing out as well, along with, oh my goodness, look at the watermelon growing out here. Is that from my plant, or does he have some back in here somewhere? This is an awesome area. I love this. Just so cool. I had to crawl over the fence and get this from the opposite side. Oh, hey buddy, there you go. Had to tip a bucket over so that a lizard could get out. Huge, 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 huge vines though. Enormous.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to put, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon of butter in here. We've got quite a bit. We've got a full bowl. We're going to do this in stages. I've got it on super high because if you cook it on too low of a temperature, you won't get the good caramelization and it'll get too mushy. So we're going to let that melt. I just turned it on. It's not nearly hot enough yet.
And what other ingredients do we have?
We're going to use some garlic powder. This is actually garlic scape powder. I've got some pink Himalayan sea salt, some avocado oil, and just some Italian seasoning.
Why the avocado oil?
Because it's got a higher smoke temp, I believe it is.
Okay.
It just does better when I'm heating on high.
And how much more of this stuff do you want me to pick for you?
None. I think I'm ready for it to go to seed.
Okay. So
I think this is the last batch we're going to do.
you will get your fill, I guarantee, with the loofah.
Yes.
Those vines, of course, I have 5 vines, and I did 5 vines on purpose because I wanted to see that mound of vines that you just saw in that segment out in the garden. And we've reached that. Next year it'll probably be, I don't know, 2 vines.
So we actually vacuum sealed this. I'm going to undo it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some garlic, mix this up some.
And this is dehydrated garlic scapes ground in a coffee grinder. It smells good still.
Yep, it does.
This is from May of last year.
So that was probably, what, 2 tablespoons maybe for this big, maybe
roughly,
3?
yeah.
Okay, let me wash my hands real quick. Okay, so we're going to do some Himalayan sea salt now. And mix that up while that is cooking. We're being a little generous because remember, you know, we are going to be sauteing it, so. All right. Okay, so as you can see, we're getting pretty hot here. Our butter is actually turning a little bit brown, so it's turning into that nice brown butter, which gives it a little bit of a nuttiness. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put some in here. So this is probably going to take about 2 rounds. Keep it on high. Remember, we're trying to caramelize it. We spread it as evenly as we can. It's not going to all get even. I don't expect it to. And start letting it cook.
So we finished the first batch. The skillet was probably not quite as warm as we would normally like it, so we are going to show you on the second batch. We did end up figuring out it was about 3 minutes on each side, but you can see she put another little tablespoon of butter in the skillet, so it'll get heated up again. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, we'll come
Just
back.
want to make sure it gets really good and hot.
Yeah. We'll come back as soon as it's getting closer to ready. So you can see it sizzling up real good, quite fast. This only has the salt and garlic powder on it right now. So we will leave it 3 minutes on this side.
So we did about 3 minutes on each side and then added the Italian seasoning at the end so that it didn't clump and burn. And it is, well, how about a taste test? So you can tell by the change in bow tie that this is actually being finished on the next day, but Mrs. Bowtie is still in there finishing up that third batch. But I have here this bowl. I'm not going to eat the whole thing because frankly I don't think I could. We had a big meal and it was good. We were celebrating some mission work that was done this summer. But anyway, you can see here, it's the Luffa. This is Luffa. This is not zucchini. And to me, it tastes just like if I had gone and bought a zucchini and brought it home for Mrs. Bowtie to cook for dinner. It's very good. The key thing is, just make sure it's not overly ripe. You saw those small ones, and as you're cutting them up, you can tell when they're good and so forth. But I guess I got the official word here on this video that we're going to start letting them go to seed, and we will start getting loofah sponges next, and we'll do another video on that. So be sure to subscribe and click like on this video if you like zucchini, or if you have tried this or are going to try this, come back and let me know how it is. Tell us in the comments what your experience was. And I'm going to take a couple more bites here. The caramelization really does so much for the flavor. She uses the Italian seasoning, which is what she prefers. I'm sure you can pick a whole bunch of other combinations of seasonings if you wanted to. So, thanks for watching. Y'all have a blessed day. Well.